teachers Diana and Adriana. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Good afternoon. The pleasure is all ours.
I would like to ask you some questions about testing because we know that testing is a difficult task for teachers to assess the students. So first of all, I would like you to explain what is testing.
Okay, testing is when the teacher evaluates the level of knowledge the learner has acquired, usually given a grade, using quizzes or tests, and it measures the student's achievements.
Okay, so according to what you said, what differences do you find between assessment, testing, and evaluation?
Evaluation is the widest basis for collecting information in education, and according to Harris and McCann, it involves looking at all factors that influence the learning process, such as the objectives of the syllabus, course designs, and materials. It goes beyond the student's achievement, and it's based on criteria and evidence, unlike assessment. And sometimes assessment and testing are used as synonyms, but testing is actually a subcategory of assessment.
Teachers have the responsibility to decide which is the best option to assess students. So how do you categorize assessment?
We categorize assessment by type, purpose, and place within the teaching learning process, depending on the necessities our students have and the context in which it develops.
So you mentioned that you categorize tests by types of tests. So could you mention those type of tests and their purpose? Which are the purpose?
There are a lot of different types of tests, and the most common use of language test is to identify the strengths and weaknesses in students' abilities. We have placement tests, which assess students' level of language, and it positions students in an appropriate course, and this helps to have classes that are homogeneous in level of proficiency. We have aptitude tests that measure our general ability or capacity to learn a foreign language. An example of this test is the MLAT, which is the Modern Language Aptitude Test developed by Carroll and Saffron in 1958. And we have diagnostic tests that help to identify areas in which a student needs further help.
And then we have a progress test that measure the development that students are making during the course. And then we have achievement tests that are similar to progress tests because they also apply at mid-end and point of the course. And finally, we have proficiency tests, which are not based on a particular curriculum or program, and they assess a language ability at varying levels. An example of this test is the TOEFL, which measures English language proficiency of foreign students.
So according to all the tests that you mentioned, for example the TOEFL, we know that there are several ways to doing the test, but each one measures different aspects. So could you mention those aspects, please?
Sure, there are 8 additional ways of labeling tests. The first one is objective test, which is scored by comparing students' responses with an established set of correct responses on an answer key. With this labeling test, the qualifier doesn't require particular knowledge in the examined area. On the other hand, we have subjective tests that requires scoring by personal judgment. So in this case, the human element is very important. There is criterion reference test, which is usually developed to measure mastery or well-defined instructional objectives specific to a particular program. According to Brown, JD, the purpose of this test is to measure how much learning the student has achieved.
And the fourth one is the non-referenced test, also called standardized test, which is designed to gauge global language abilities. Based on Brown, the purpose of an NRT is to spread out a continuum of scores. Test results are interpreted with reference to the performance of a given large group of students who are similar to the individuals for whom the test was designed. And the next one is summative assessment, which is used at the end of the course to determine if students have achieved the objectives set out in the curriculum. And the sixth is formative assessment, which aims to use the result to improve instruction. So feedback is provided to students during the course. And the next one is high stakes test, in which the results are likely to have a big impact in our lives. For example, TOEFL. And finally, we have low stakes tests that are those that have a small impact in our lives. Clear example of these are the class tests and short quizzes.
That's really interesting how you label all those types of tests and all the features it involves. But I would like to know, traditional testing is designed with questions like multiple choice, true, false, written essays, but some authors like Simonson claim that those type of items do not show students' effort because they memorize instead of understand. So according to that, how alternative assessment differs from traditional testing?
Alternative assessment asks students to show how much they know and what they can do with it. The type of assessment provides us with information about students' strengths and weaknesses. It does not intrude with the regular activities in the classroom, and it actually shows that the curriculum is being implemented.
So based on that, what aspects do you consider when you are designing a test?
We consider aspects like if the test is going to monitor students' progress, if it's going to be motivating for students, or if it will provide data for a grade at the end of the course. And some other aspects like if the test will measure achievement of the goals, demonstrating how well students have learned these things, and what kind of test we want to use according to our students' level of competency. And if the test will help students clarify the objectives of the course, if it will reinforce what we want students to learn and retain, and also the use of consistent language to make sure students know what we mean when we use them. But we also have to consider students who have not a fully master of the course. They will show how much they have learned during the course.
Now, according to the information that you already provided, we know that designing a test is not an easy task. It is important to understand the level of complexity and also the principles you follow to design a test in a proper way. For example, usefulness. According to Bachman and Palmer's model, a test requires a specific purpose, a selected group of people to take that test, etc. But what about validity and reliability?
Of course, it is not an easy task, and these principles that you are mentioning are essential when designing a proper test. When we talk about validity, we talk about how well a test measures what it's supposed to measure. And reliability refers to the extent to which test consistently measures what it's supposed to measure. And while reliability focuses on the empirical aspects of measurement process, validity focuses on the theoretical aspects and relates these ones with the empirical ones. And for this, it is easier to assess reliability than validity.
I agree with you. Those principles, I think, are the most important ones. They are helpful. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for your time and for answering my questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.